Hello there, it's Paul, and the Bard, that's me, the Beard, which is getting itchier, and the Back Bedroom Poetrycast. And here we are in my back bedroom, and I'm wearing my Stephen King Constant Reader t-shirt. And I found this little book the other week called Elevation. Absolutely fantastic little story, short by his standards, but a lovely, gorgeous little story, and I recommend that to you. Constant Reader, always a good thing to be. You can see me behind me, the wall of Chatterton. That's Martine Chatterton, good friend, fantastic illustrator, fellow Everton fan as well. And these are all the covers he's done for Macmillan Books over the years. In fact, the first book I ever did for Macmillan is this book here, Tongue Twisters and Tonsil Twizzlers, which I'll come on to in a moment. And that was the first book I edited for Macmillan many years ago. But David Orme had a great editor. I say a great editor because he chose several of my poems for several of his books. He did this book called Dracula's Anti-Ruthless, and Martin did the cover of that. And I got 3 poems in this book, and I foolishly thought, oh, I must be really, really good. He's chosen 3 of my poems. So I sent him loads of ideas for books, and he said, don't send them to me, send them to the editor at Macmillan. So I sent them off, and I think 5 of them got rejected, and 1 of them got accepted. And the one that got accepted was the Tongue Twisters book, and that's how it all started 20 odd years ago. But I'll read a tongue twister for you in a moment. In the meantime, here's a poem called Revenge of the Fly. One day, while eating breakfast, bacon, ham and eggs, a little fly buzzed down upon the top of Billy's head. Its little furry feet tickled across young Billy's brow, and then it flew away, and he thought, it's okay now. He cut a piece of bacon, looking forward to its taste, was just about to munch it up, and then across his face he felt a little tickle as the fly came into land. The bacon was uneaten as the fork fell from his hand. He shook his head and waved his arms up, down and side to side, but the little fly just held on tight, no matter what he tried. Just then the little fly buzzed off, and Billy, with an evil grin, said, for sure that little monster's dead when it comes back again. He found the rolled up newspaper, a tea towel and a shoe. He lay in wait, his breakfast bait, and knew what he would do. He heard that little buzzing noise, and then he heard it stop. Creeping out with a shout, he let the towel drop. Armed with a shoe and paper, he laughed above the plate. The fly beneath the towel could not escape. He brought the paper flying down with a squelchy, soggy splat. And with an evil laugh he said, take that, ha-ha, and that, ha-ha, and that, ha-ha. The shoe crashed down until the plate was smashed to smithereens, and a sticky, lumpy, splodgy mess was all that could be seen. Billy heard no buzzing now, but he heard his mum coming, so picking up the mess, he threw it in the bin. But that night, as Billy slept, his window open wide, 10,000 million flies buzzed silently inside. They hovered in their deadly swarm above young Billy's bed, and with a shout of tally ho, they flew right at his head, up his nose, inside his ears, across his sleeping eyes, on his tongue and down his throat. They blocked up his insides, and no one heard him shout, and no one heard him cry. So just remember that next time you kill a fly. And if by chance you do kill one, then when you go to bed, make sure you close your windows and cover up your head, just in case. For those people of a nervous disposition, I'd like to point out that is not a true story. Or is it? Who knows? I mentioned Tongue Twisters and Tonsil Twizzlers, and that was my first book for Macmillan, and that came out, I'm going to find out now, in 1997. You do the maths. Martin did the cover for that, and Martin and myself have been friends for many years, but we only met for the first time about 1.5 years ago. He happened to be in Liverpool, so did I, so we went to watch an Everton match, and we won, so happy days all around. But interesting, we've been friends online for many years, but that was the first book he did, and now we're doing several projects together, which is great. So I'm going to do a tongue twister for you called Barry and Beryl the Bubble Gum Blowers. You can either have the fast version or the slow version. You want Oh, you want the fast version? Okay. Barrett and Beryl, the bubblegum blows, bubblegum bubbles as big as balloons, all shapes and sizes, zebras and zeppelins, swordfish and sea lions, sharks, baboons, babies and buckets and bottles and biplanes, buffaloes, bees, trombones and bassoons. Barrett and Beryl, the bubblegum blows, bubblegum bubbles as big as balloons. Barrett and Beryl, the bubblegum blows, bubblegum bubbles all over the place. Big ones in bed, on backseats of buses, blowing the bubbles in baths with bad taste. They blew and they bubble from breakfast to bedtime, the biggest can bubble that history traced. Wellness for breath. And the bubble exploded, bursting and blasting their heads into space. Yes, Barrett and Beryl, the bubblegum blows, the bubbles that blasted their heads into space. Thank you, I'll breathe now. Here's a very short tongue twister, you can say it after me. He felt smart. She felt smart. They both felt smart together. I'll say it again. He felt smart, she felt smart, they both felt smart together. You say it 3 times and then you'll laugh. I promise you, you will. So the first couple of books I did, in fact the first book I ever got a poem in was that book there called Here We Go, book of football poems. I remember seeing my poem, my name in the book for the first time, and then receiving the cheque for £35, I think it was. That was the first book of football poems. The latest book is going to be a book of football poems called Football for Everyone. It was originally going to be out in April, but it's been put back to September. But it's pretty much ready to go, and I'm going to do 2 poems to finish off. 2 new poems actually that aren't in any of the books so far. This one's called The Tackle That Shook the Ground. Full-blooded, eye on the ball, he took it cleanly, man and all. Fair and square, and a few more there who happened to be around. The tackle that shook, the tackle that shook, the tackle that shook the ground. No nonsense and no messing, brute force, no finessing, bone-shaking, ground-quaking avalanche that's rolling down. The tackle that shook, the tackle that shook, the tackle that shook the ground. Blood, mud, sweat and cheers, grinding through the mighty gears. The onslaught of a juggernaut, he'll never let you down. The tackle that shook, the tackle that shook, the tackle that shook the ground. And don't go in the changing rooms. Rancid socks and deep heat fumes. Don't go in those changing rooms. Shattered shin pads stained with blood, battered boots and last year's mud, voodoo dolls of referees, sucked and spat out oranges, he said, making it rhyme. Broken toenails, bits of plaster, squashed bananas squished up pasta, hairdryer with broken cable, teeth marks in the treatment table. Popped and punctured practice balls, broken teacups smashed on walls, slippy soap that squashed and wet, shower gel that spilt and set. Sprays and ointments on the shelf, a goalie glove left by itself, bandages and toilet rolls, towels fester, growing mould. The striker's hairband, bright and pink, the fullback's underpants that stink. Smelly socks and deep heat fumes. Don't go in those changing rooms. You've got it. Okay, hope you've enjoyed that. We'll see you tomorrow, and next time I'm going to be giving you some advice on writing your own poems, so have paper and pencil ready should that be of interest. In the meantime, a quick plug. There we are. The books are still available, and if you want to order them, go on the website. Okay, speak to you soon. Take care now. Be safe.